Welcome to IAS Academy. Prior to the 2023 preliminary exam, we will cover 15 questions daily in a video. I have already uploaded 40 test series last year. So, let's start our session. Our first question is, which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of Buddha? Options are Avanti, Gandhara, Kosala, Magadha. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here, answer to this question is option C, 3 and 4 only. That is, Kosala and Magadha. Buddha born in Lumpini in Kosala kingdom. Buddha attained enlightenment at Gaya in Magadha kingdom. So, answer is options 3 and 4. That is, Kosala and Magadha. Avanti lay outside the area visited by Buddha and was converted to his teaching by his disciple. Gandhara is western part of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Gandhara is not directly associated with the life of Buddha. It was expansion of Maurya Empire that Gandhara received much Buddhist influence, notably during reign of Ashoka. So here answer to this question is option C. Question number 2. In medieval India, the designations Mahattara and Patakila were used for. Options are military officers, village headmen, specialist in Vedic rituals, chief of craft guilds. Here answer to this question is option B, village headman. In medieval India, the designation Mahattara and Patakila were used for village headman. Question number 3. The Congress policy of prayer and petition ultimately came to an end under the guidance of. Options are Aurobindo Ghosh, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Mahatma Gandhi. Here answer to this question is option B, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Mahatma Gandhi called Bal Gangadhar Tilak the maker of modern India, or as British colonial authorities called him the father of Indian unrest, testifies his legacy and contribution to Indian society and freedom struggle. As a philosopher politician, his contribution is immense as he is said to be pioneer of ideas of Swaraj and Swadeshi. The founding of Indian National Congress in 1885 was aided by the British under the narrative of safety value theory. As a follow-up to that, the voice of INC was weak and subdued. Early leadership of INC was mainly focused on 3 P's, that is prayer, petition and protest. Tilak along with 2 other Congress leaders, Lala Lajpat Rai and Bipin Chandra Pal, popularly known as Lal, Bal and Pal, started the extremist phase of INC, which focused on mass mobilization of masses. So under the guidance of Tilak, the polity of prayer and petition came to an end. Tilak gave Tri-Shruti or 3-point program for national awakening, that is, Swaraj, Swadeshi and national education based on vernacular. So here answer to this question is option B, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Question number 4. Who among the following was the president of All India States People's Conference in 1939? Options are Jayaprakash Narayan, Sheikh Abdullah, Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Here answer to this question is option C, Jawaharlal Nehru. With the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi in Indian politics and subsequent expansion of Congress movement, the philosophy of the Congress was aspired to establish a democratic state of India where a person of any stature and repute, without the discriminations of caste, class and religion, would be able to hold responsible positions in the government. The locals of these princely states too were influenced by the idea of Congress and formed Prajamandals, which the Congress encouraged. In 1927, various Prajamandals grouped to form All India States People's Conference. The conference looked into INC for support, but Congress was reluctant to provide it until 1939, when Jawaharlal Nehru became its president, serving this position till 1946. So here answer to this question is option C, Jawaharlal Nehru. Question number 5. Who started Shyam Prakash? Options are Dayananda Saraswati, Rajaram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Surendranath Banerjee. Here answer to this question is option C, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar authored many books such as Betel, Panchaben Sadi, Born of Choy, Bangla Ar Itihas, Upakrah Manika, and so on. He also started the Bengali newspaper Shyam Prakash in 1859 under the editorship of Dwarakanath Vidyabhushan. It was a weekly paper coming from the Sanskrit press. It is remembered for its contribution to the Indigo movement. So here answer to this question is option C, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Question number 6. Israel has common borders with which of the following countries? Option A, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan and Egypt. That is correct. So here answer to this question is option A. Israel has common borders with Lebanon, Syria, Jordan and Egypt. Question number 7. The Sahariya tribes are mainly found in options are Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Here answer to this question is option C, Rajasthan. The Sahariya or Sahariya is an ethnic group in the state of Madhya Pradesh and some district of Rajasthan. They are classified as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. They consider everyone in an endogamous group to be brother and sister. So the marriages have to be arranged from other clans. In the recent past, acute malnutrition among Sahariyas due to crushing poverty, delayed breastfeeding, premature pregnancies, and seasonal migration is continuing to take away lives. As a result, every second child under 5 of this tribe in the Shivpuri and Shiopur district of central India is underweight. So here answer to this question is option C, Rajasthan. Question number 8. In which one of the following places is the Shompen tribe found? Options are Nilgiri Hills, Nicobar Islands, Spiti Valley and Lakshadweep Islands. Here answer to this question is option B, Nicobar Islands. The population of Andaman and Nicobar Islands primitive tribes has rapidly declined over the years. The epidemics and crippling health crises of the past have been seen to disproportionately impact these indigenous tribal groups. Great Andamans are one of 5 primitive vulnerable tribal groups that reside in Andaman's archipelago. The other 4 are Jawas, Onges, Shompens and North Sentinels. Shompen is the only primitive vulnerable tribal group in the region with Mongoloid features. The other primitive vulnerable tribal groups have Negroid features. So here answer to this question is option B, Nicobar Islands. Question number 9. What is Rio Plus 20 Conference? Options are it is the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development. It's a ministerial meeting of the World Trade Organization. It's a conference of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's a conference of the member countries of the Convention on Biological Diversity. Here answer to this question is option A. It's a United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development. The United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development or Rio Plus 20 took place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in the year 2012. It resulted in a focused political outcome document which contains clear and practical measures for implementing sustainable development. Rio Plus 20 was a 20-year follow-up to the Earth Summit 1992 and 10-year follow-up to the Earth Summit 2002. It's also known as Rio 2012 or Earth Summit 2012. It reaffirmed the commitment to Agenda 21. So here answer to this question is option A. Question number 10. Which among the following countries was the earliest to give women the right to vote? Options are Iceland, India, New Zealand and USA. Here answer to this question is option C, New Zealand. New Zealand became the first country in the world to have women voters. On September 19, 1893, the Governor Lord Glasgow signed a new electoral act into law. As a result of this landmark legislation, New Zealand became the first self-governing country in the world to grant women the right to vote in parliamentary elections. So here answer to this question is option C, New Zealand. Question number 11. Which one of the following schedules of Indian Constitution lists the names of states and specifies their territories? Options are first schedule, second schedule, third schedule and fourth schedule. Here answer to this question is option A, first schedule. There are 12 schedules in the Constitution of India. First schedule of Indian Constitution contains the names of states and union territories. Territorial jurisdiction of states is also included in the first schedule. Second schedule contains provisions in relation to allowances, privileges, emoluments. Third schedule contains forms of oath and affirmation. Fourth schedule contains provisions in relation to allocation of seats for states and union territories in Rajya Sabha. So here answer to this question is option A, first schedule. Question number 12. Which of the following constitutional amendments are related to raising the number of members of Lok Sabha to be elected from the states? Options are 6th and 22nd, 13th and 38th, 7th and 31st, 11th and 42. Here answer to this question is option C, 7th and 31st amendments. 7th Amendment Act 1956 provides for composition of the House of People and readjustment after every census. An increase in the population of India revealed in the census of 1971 is the reason for 31st Amendment. 31st Amendment increased the number of Lok Sabha seats from 525 to 545 and reduced upper limit for the representation of Union Territories from 25 to 20. So here answer to this question is option C, 7th and 31st Amendments. Question number 13. A consumer is said to be in equilibrium if options are he is able to locate new sources of income, he is able to fulfill his needs with a given level of income, his income and expenditure are equal, he can fulfill his needs without consumption of certain items. Here answer to this question is option B, that is he is able to fulfill his needs with a given level of income. Consumer's equilibrium means a state of maximum satisfaction. A situation where a consumer spends his given income purchasing one or more commodities so that he gets maximum satisfaction and has no urge to change this level of consumption is known as consumer equilibrium. That is, consumer fulfill his needs with a given level of income with the prices of commodities. So here answer to this question is option B. Question number 14. Which of the following is not a member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO? Options are Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Ukraine and Russia. Here answer to this question is option C, Ukraine. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a permanent intergovernmental international organization. It's a Eurasian political, economic and military organization aiming to maintain peace, security and stability in the region. It was created in 2001. Prior to the creation of SCO in 2001, Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia and Tajikistan were members of Shanghai 5. Following the accession of Uzbekistan to the organization in 2001, the Shanghai 5 was renamed SCO. India and Pakistan became members of SCO in 2017. So here answer to this question is option C, Ukraine. Question number 15. The National Housing Bank NHB was set up in India as a wholly owned subsidiary of which one of the following? Options are SBI, RBI, ICICI Bank, LIC. Here answer to this question is option B, RBI. NHB is an All India financial institution set up in 1988. It's an apex agency established to operate as a principal agency to promote housing finance institutions both at local and regional levels and to provide financial and other support to such institutions. The NHB was previously an integral part of RBI until the Government of India purchased it in 2019 with the entire stake. This step by the Union was taken as per the Narasimha II Committee report of 2001. The NHB primarily raises the required funds from bonds, borrowings, debentures, etc. As per the Bank Regulation Act, the bond of NHB are accepted as security in the commercial bank that can be used to meet the statutory liquidity. So here answer to this question is option B, RBI. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. We will continue with the next result tomorrow.